I put a lot of pressure on myself, and it's really not always fair. Hey, wait a minute. That's how I'm going to start a comedy program? Alleged comedy program, sir. Alleged comedy program. Yes. Yes, this, here in the void. The black nothingness that is so very much like the black nothingness of my own soul. Yes. I have stared into the abyss, and not only has the abyss stared back, I have seen my own reflection in it. And realized it was me staring back the whole time. Or maybe it was just a really, really clean mirror in a men's room somewhere. Anyway, regardless, that's fiction. There's no clean mirrors in a men's room. What are you, the fancy hotel whose name I can't think of right now? Ha ha! And you thought I was perspicacious. Yes, well, I am sometimes, I think. Wait, does perspicacious mean what I think it means? Okay, hold up. Nope, that's just a box to type in. Perspicacious. What? Having a ready insight into and understanding of things. Yes, well. Of course, I would always like to think that things and I have a certain understanding. Things. Myself. Yes. Wait, was I on this part or was I on this part? This part is sad and terrifying and representative of my actual life. This part is hilarious and funny and representative of what I intend to project out into the world. Wait, why are you over here, you mundungus Fletcher? You belong over on to other screen, so that, oh, yes, this is what we see when that is a thing that we have done. Anyway, look, perspicacious. Let's not lose the thread. Having a ready insight into and understanding of things. That's not a very good definition. Of acute mental vision or discernment, keen. That. Thank you, Merriam-Webster. Thank goodness that friggin' oh, my favorite lexicographer, whose name is not Ellie Kemper. I keep thinking Corey Stamper. Why did I think Ellie Kemper when I meant Corey Stamper? Look, Corey Stamper, they're two very different people. Ellie Kemper's public persona reminds me of a person that I actually know and, well, have not seen in some years, and heaven knows what she thinks of me now. Anyway, regardless, only a friend ever, but, there are differences between us now, and we have never spoken about them. And I don't even know if she knows, honestly. Anyway, but was a friend that was very instrumental to me in a very number of important parts of my life. So, someone that I used to rely upon very much for an opinion and for guidance in my life. Anyway, so, yeah. Ellie Kemper. And Corey Stamper is a lexicographer. And by comparing her to a person that Ellie Kemper reminds me of, not Ellie Kemper herself, but a person that Ellie Kemper reminds me of, somehow it's like, wow, could I describe Corey Stamper in less flattering terms? She's a brilliant woman, and she, there's a really good series on Netflix. I think it's called Dirty Words, Filthy Words, Curse Words, Swear Words, something like that. Anyway, hosted by Nicolas Cage. Yes, I know in another episode I was like, oh, little Nicky Coppola, like as if I am someone who can, like, take swings at a man who has done a lot in his time. Anyway. And a lot of things that I like. I don't know what makes me think that I'm so great that I could be like, oh, I didn't even like Con Air. I did. And unironically, not like a snarky 20-year-old being like, I like things, but not because they're good, but because other people who are lame think they're good. And by me liking something that someone who is lame likes, then it makes me extra cool. Like, what are your 20s built on? It's fried froth. It's nothing. It's nonsense. It's like wispy clouds of ethereal nothing. Anyway, I didn't even know. This is go find my Von Dutch trucker hat and make this happen. Anyway, I didn't even know what that means, what I just said. I mean, I know the concept, but I don't even know who I'm making fun of anymore. I was making fun of someone, and now I feel bad. Oh, Nicolas Cage. Yeah. He is unironically good in a lot of things. And even though I've made fun of the way that he shakes his hands in Gone in 60 Seconds, that does not mean that, like, I have a shadow to cast on the man. Anyway, regardless, Nicolas Cage, what the crap was I talking about? Perspicacious. What is my train of thought right now? I don't know, but it derailed and killed hundreds. Oh, jeez. Anyway, I think we solved the trolley problem, and it's like, let everyone ride on my train of thought, and we'll kill everyone. That's your trolley problem solved. How do you get them all killed? Well, you gotta switch the tracks or not, and you can't actually kill everyone? What? Disappointed, serial killer. Well, put them all on my train of thought. They will get there in no time. And when I say there, I mean to the afterlife that you so clearly believe in. Anyway, don't forget, God is Emmylou Harris. I'm here to play Minecraft. I think we all know that. Perspicacious. Let's not act like we don't know that I was going to do a thing with this. Oh, having ready insight into and understanding of things. Yes. Yes, things. Things that I have a certain understanding. I think you know that. I think you've seen the way I've been around things. Yes. Things and I. Oh, sure, there's tension. There's always going to be tension between things and myself. You are correct there. You've seen the tension. Who hasn't? But I think at the end of the day, I think things and I have been able to put our differences behind us. Haven't we, things? Things? Things. Things, come over here. Things. I'm not going to ask you twice, things. Things, look. The nice people want to know that you and I have a perfectly friendly, cordial, normal relationship one to another. No, not a romantic relationship, you silly, silly thing. Well, no, I was speaking in cordial terms, of course. I know that you are things and not merely one thing. I was, bestowing a friendly nickname upon you. Yes, as a term of endearment, as a matter of fact. So, just showing the strength of our relationship things. Now, if you would be so kind as to do me the favor of, in front of this lovely group of people who've gathered, to see whether or not I have a good working relationship with things, see whether or not I am, in a word, perspicacious. I think the good people here deserve to know whether or not you and I, things, yes, you, have a good working relationship and a certain understanding with each other. You would say that's true, wouldn't you, things? No, I am not putting words in things' mouth. I am not. Things. Things, how dare you agree with them? Things. Am I going to... Things. Am I going to have to beat you with a rolled-up newspaper, things? Beat you on the nose with a rolled-up newspaper, even though a rolled-up newspaper is itself a thing, and might therefore be seen as a very part of you yourself, things. The things which, due to my perspicacity, I have a certain understanding of. Oh, perspicacity? That's the state of being perspicacious. Let's find out if that's the word. Perspicacity! It is a word. I am just knocking these out of the park. These are stupid words that nobody's ever going to need. No one's ever going to use. I might as well use them. Nobody else is. Look, I'm Rem Pemberton. And this is Riff and Craft with Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons. And if anybody is perspicacious, it is Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons. Now, look, if we're going to get any amount of Minecraft played in this episode, which is seriously in doubt, we are going to need to get this whole endeavor off the ground, which we do with the playing of the theme song. You know the theme song. Won't you sing along with me? I know you shall, each in your own homes or wherever you are when you happen to be watching this episode. Available wherever U-type tubes are sold. Anyway, here we go.
This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme. This has always been the theme song. This has always been the theme. Cha.
Oh, it's the cha that makes it. I think we can all agree. Look, I am eating an Otter Pop. It is summertime. I am allowed to eat Otter Pops. I'm a grown man with his own house. I live in this house. Look, I can dance if I want to. I gotta leave my friends behind. I certainly have left friends behind here and there. Remember the one I was talking about who reminded me of Ellie Kemper? Or Ellie Kemper reminded me of her? Both ways. Either or. Neither, both. Yes, and. Yes. What was I talking about? The importance of planting crops. Yep, gotta plant some crops because I've got potatoes and carrots. Carrots and potatoes. So we are going to, I know that these are not all ready, but we are going to take them because we are going to plant carrots and potatoes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over here we're going to plant some potatoes, man. Anyway, No, I don't do voices. Don't ask. I haven't done voices. Not since the incident. Yes, we've all played that fun game, smart guy. Okay, didn't I have an enchanted... Yes, a leathern doublet with a curse of binding. Yes, so I'm slightly more, I don't want to lie on my bed. I just want to eat the beef. What's your beef, good sir? Anyway, let's go down, Moses. Way down to Egypt land. We're going to tell those pharaohs, let my people go. Where Moses was in Egypt land, let my people go. That seems, hey, honestly, okay, let's be honest, very. I am a white type person. I don't know if you could tell the unbearable whiteness of my being based on my everything about me. But hey. So Juneteenth just got made into a federal holiday. Hey, thanks being, reasonably progressive, America. I mean, not that this is another federal holiday, but stupid House members from Arizona voted against it. Yeah, look at you, Paul Gosar. And also Biggs, which, Biggs is definitely... What? There was an axolotl in the lava? Weird. Anyway, hold up. Biggs is related to people that my family has known for a long, long time. I grew up knowing about Biggses. And one of my best friends from college married one of them. So these are people we know. Actually, my parents, I think, live right next door to some Biggses. Anyway, must be related to this certain Biggs who voted against making Juneteenth a federal holiday, which I would love to hear their explanation. Do we need another federal holiday? Come on. Talk about a time in which, a certain party, I won't say which one, is trying to take voting rights away from certain colors of people. I won't say what colors. And, the whole thing, here's what's so indicative. I'm a white person with a reasonable amount of white guilt. There, I moved my mouse. You're not staring at the same thing the whole time. I'm eating an Otter Pop because I deserve it. Because I'm a star. This is hilarious because the only person who ever watches these is me. Once again, putting this out there, if you are not me, and you see up to this point in the video, which is much earlier in the video than I said it last time. Okay, this is 19 and a half minutes in. The last time I said it was well over 30 and 45 minutes that I said it. Okay, this is barely in as far as how my videos go. Anyway, so 19 and a half minutes in, if you actually hear this part of the video, just comment on it. Just say, I heard this part of the video, and guess what? I will give you a Steam key free of charge, and it will be for a game that has a 70% or higher rating on Metacritic, because that's what I was promised when I bought them Steam keys. Yep. So, I can guarantee cash money ain't none of you heard up to this part. So, good on you, Chief. Anyway, so the part about me acting like, and I'm a star, that's just a joke to me to look back on tomorrow to be like, oh, you. Anyway. Hold up. Get the melty part, and then we're done with this otter pop. And I know what you're wondering. You're wondering which of all the 8 zippy flavors, or is it 6? I always forget how many zippy flavors. It's an even number, I can tell you that much. Okay. You got your strawberry shortcook, your Pancho Punch, your Louis Blue Raspberry, your Little Orphan Orange. You got your Alexander the Grape. Did I say Pancho Punch? I must have. Yeah, Punch Punch, Louis Raspberry, Alexander the Grape, strawberry shortcook. And obviously Sir Isaac Lime, which is the flavor that I did have. It was delicious. Thank you very much. I guess it's 6 zippy flavors. That makes 6. Anyway, reminds me of silly Sammy Slick, who sipped 6 sodas and got sick, which is, as we have discussed, the number of the beast. Hell and fire were born to be released. It's true. It's quite factually accurate, I think you'll find. Just Google, what were Hell and Fire born for? I hope those are the actual lyrics. Because that's what they are in my brain. Let's find out. This is time for Googling, not time for mining, right? Okay. Oh no, I got Otter Popsies on my brand new keyboard. I just built this keyboard today out of parts that I have been wanting for a long time, ever since I started building keyboards. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Things that I have Googled. What was I gonna Google? Hold up. Now I have to find out. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Of course I know. We're here for the lyrics to Number of the Beast. What? Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Hoo-ah. Those are not lyrics to Number of the Beast. Those are lyrics to Metallica's Fuel, which came out for the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack. And they took footage out in the middle of the desert on top of mesas and whatnot. Seems like it was in Monument Valley. Anyway, regardless. Lyrics to Number of the Beast. I left alone. My mind was blank. I needed time to think to get these memories from my mind. What did I see? Can I believe that what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? Just what I saw in my old dreams? Were they reflections of my warped mind staring back at me? 'Cause in my dreams, it's always there, the evil face that twists my mind and brings me to despair. The night was black. Was no use holding back, 'cause I just had to see was someone watching me. In the mist, dark figures move and twist. Was all this for real, or just some kind of hell? 666, the number of the beast. Hell and fire was spawned to be released. Spawned. I didn't know that spawned was the verb there. But I was correct about what hell and fire were created for. Thank you very much. To be released is the reason for hell and fire. Hey, this is Riff and Craft, and I am Rem Pemberton of the Clemson Pembertons. You'll remember me. We've spoken before. Now, if you will seat me at your nearest Minecraft, I will proceed to entertain the masses for hours upon end with my hilarious and whimsical whatnots. What? Was this you say? Illusions of dubious ruminations. Relations of dubious persuasions. Why, you old whimsical minstrel, I think you've done it. I think you've done it once and done it again. Oh, yes, I can get copper with just stone pickaxe. And why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I get copper with stone pickaxe? Copper is very, as far as minerals go, rocks and or minerals. Yeah, copper is highly malleable. Like, we all know that about copper. Don't act like you're if I woke you up in the middle of the night from a dead sleep, it was like, hurry, tell me all the qualities you know about copper and the raw copper. You would be like, first, it's highly malleable. Secondly, it has a bluish-greenish sort of appearance. You know, like an obnoxious piece of artwork or jewelry that someone would pick up while traveling through the American Southwest. Which, guess what? I live in the American Southwest, and we, here in the American Southwest, do not share your fascination with the color turquoise. Like, we do not. Nor do we like teal, nor are we particularly huge fans of plywood cutout silhouettes of cowboys leaning against fence posts, or of coyotes silhouetted but with colorful bandanas. Like, who the crap is selling this crap? I mean, am I right? Okay. Surely that won't change. Surely they will not have changed. Like, what can mine what? So I should hold off until I have the correct picked axe. Yeah, clearly I see what's happening here. I've created for myself. Oh no, that's a different direction entirely. It's like, yeah, I just created, it's totally a roundabout. You know what? I'll be your roundabout. That's what I'll be. Hey, have I ever talked about the younger generation and how angry they make me with not knowing what roundabout is from? It's not strictly from JoJo's Unusual Predicaments. Remember when JoJo was in that unusual predicament of wanting to see his own mother naked? Yes, in this show that is allegedly for children. But then again, what am I to say? My generation produced the greatest of all shows of that nature, which is, of course, that one, Back to the Future. Yeah, I remember the titles of movies. Yeah, Back to the Future, where like not only does he like yeah, but also yeah, right? I mean, come on. Like we are all aware of circumstances of a nature which have led to that in movies, not in real life. Holy Moses. Like, it's certainly not in real life. But, like, okay. Let's say a thing that, like, seems ridiculous. Alright? So, like, people in my drama classes, and I have to watch these kinds of things because, you know, like sometimes when kids are like among themselves, they're like, haha, I can totally get away with murder because this old guy over here, he does not get our memes and references. And so, like, they'll try and slip things past me when we're doing improv, which, like, I prefer that they not, because mostly I prefer that I get the joke. Like, honestly, I'm never that offended by anything that they say or do, but like I am offended by not being included. Anyway, so oh, that's all a thing. Anyway, but for real, that is like actually accurate as to how I feel about it. But of course, like, have I been yelled at for needing to be the adult in the room in that class? I have. I absolutely have. Where I've been pulled in and they're like, guess who gets to be the adult in the room? And I'm like, you! And they're like, no. It's your class, stupid. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be the adult in the room. I want to be one of the kids. It'll always be a little boy, laugh and have fun and tell filthy jokes in the middle of drama class. So they're like, you can't tell filthy jokes in drama class. And I'm like, well, what if I just tell my filthy jokes to students who are in drama class, but I do it before class? So they're like, oh, geez, that's not even a gray area. Like, I know you're thinking like, let's do every ridiculous extension to show how stupid the rule is. No, you are not showing that the rule is in any way stupid, because no, you should not be doing that either. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, like, yeah. Sorry. I get excited sometimes. Anyway. Okay, that's the regular cobble. Is that going to be less common down here? Because, like, I feel like cobble is really super common, but, like, if it's not common down here, then, like, maybe I shouldn't waste it. But then again, like, it seems like cobble's coming up, so. I do like this new stone that they have. What's it called? The cobbled deepeth slate, which I'm guessing is just called slate in the the non-Shakespearean version of it. Deepeth slate. That's not even like, get it together, you people at Mojang. Can't just put a th on it and have it be Shakespearean all of a sudden. Anyway, yeah. What was that? Why was I talking about Oh, I remember. Okay. Yeah, so like I have to keep an eye on things that my students say and do. Now, here's the fun thing, is that they sometimes think they're very clever and getting one over on me, but they are not so clever that they don't react as if they've gotten one over on me when they get one over on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like committing a crime and then standing outside going like, "Oh man, can you believe how much crime I did?" Like, that is what they're essentially doing when they actually pull a content-based caper. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, so they were doing this nonsense like, oh, hey, Emerald, all of a sudden. Yeah, they were doing this nonsense where they were like, where everything was like, hey, stepbrother. And I was like, what is this stepbrother nonsense? And like, and then I saw it in a meme compilation because I started watching those a while ago. It's a total waste of my time and freaking worthless. Only sometimes I actually learn things about like what this generation of kids thinks is funny and stuff. And maybe I shouldn't know that kind of crap, honestly. Like, I'm an adult. I probably shouldn't. Like, let's be honest. Let's see how long it takes to punch this rock. Because this is where the friggin', there we go. That is where we're going to put the crafting table. So, like, obviously, I need it. I need that block to be broken. Otherwise, I can't make another pickaxe. Let's make 2 pickaxes. Why not? Oh, son of a mumble. Ugh. Anyway. So, yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, they were doing all this stuff that's like, hey, stepsister, or whatnot. And I was like, okay, what is this? Because, like, I know the Hey Sister, the Saturday Night Live, the, ooh, what you say, that one with the shooting. Oh, jeez. Carn it. I'm going to use limestone. Anyway, yeah, I know that, but I don't know, like, this, hey, stepsister. Like, I don't know it. Like, I don't know it as a reference. And the reason that I don't know it as a reference is because it is a reference to, incestuous pornography. Look, there's not a better way for me to say that. It's the pornography of an incestuous nature. And, like, the thing is that, like, apparently, okay, look. In order for, like, if you can joke about the existence of, oh, yeah, there we go. If you can joke about the existence of a certain kind of pornography, then that means that it actually does, in fact, exist. And therefore, that means, and if it exists, here's the number one rule of porn. I know there's that rule that's like, hey, if it exists, there is porn of it. That's rule number 37 or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I'm, like, in some ways it's funny because, like, I'm new to the part of the internet that cares about things like this. I'm not new to the internet. I'm old to the internet. Like, I've been on the internet for so long. Like, I've been on the internet since Squeaking and Howling and Yahoo Messenger and, like, all the things. So, like, yeah, I know the internet. We are acquainted. I know what the internet does. I know what the internet can do. And I could tell you very clearly, like, the internet reflects the things that we think when we are alone. And that's why it can reflect such awful, awful things. People talk all the time about, like, oh, how can the internet reflect such, like, racism and sexism and, like, homophobia and, like, awful, awful things. Okay, well, these aren't the things that people present when they're like, hey, I'm putting on my going out face. Like, these are the things that people think when they are alone. And pornography will always be a part of that because it's such a huge part of the internet. Now, if all the internet was interested in was like, I would like to see a buxom lass and a strapping lad do the naughty. Like, if that's all that anybody was into, then you wouldn't have, like, the kind of weird stuff that the internet so very clearly caters to. And, like, what that means is that, like, not only what I'm getting at is, like, a realization for me, but I guarantee it's not going to be a realization for anybody else because everybody else is going to be like, duh, of course, you stupid. But, like, the internet reflects what people want, and what people ask it for, it provides. And if people are not asking for a certain thing on the internet and there's not, like, a massive money-backed campaign to get us to think about a thing, then chances are we're not going to think about a thing. And so, or ask for a thing on the internet. And so the fact is, like, that means that people are about incestuous pornography, which is like, what? That's not what I thought people were about. Like, if you had asked me and you were like, hey, here we are. It's 2020 something. And people are ridiculous and living the lives that they are living. What do you think that they are secretly doing and then joking about in ridiculous ways in drama class? And my number one answer would not have been like, you know what? Incestuous pornography. Like, I wouldn't have been like, someone being raised in a house with someone as if they were siblings and yet also wanting to do things to them. Because, like, okay, this speaks to so many social ills, like a breakdown of the American family, a breakdown of the concept of, like, moral goodness that would tell you to not sleep with someone if they are raised as a sibling. Like, if you're raised as siblings, then you're basically siblings. Like, I don't know. I don't have any steps in the 3. Like, it just seems wrong morally. In a, like, yes, I would flip the lever for the trolley to have it kill the one instead of the many. Which, did we talk about my train of thought being a terrible place for the people in the trolley experiment to go because they all die? My train of thought is a dead end. This is a dead end street. Okay, Kitty, I cannot give you the love that you need right now. Why does she ruin every single video? Oh, punch her in the butt, but she's got big old long hair kitty dingleberries. And it is not my responsibility to take care of those because I did not openly advocate for her being a member of this household. Because when we took her in, that meant that we had 4 cats now. Like, what? We thought we were stupid to have 3 cats, and we probably were. But you know what? The pandemic was raging, and we were like, we might be lonely and sad forever if we don't get kittens. And we were correct, because I cannot imagine my life without them. But like this one that we've only adopted slightly more recently than that, she just wandered into our yard and we took her in, and she was the most like gloriously maned, like she's got some Maine Coon in her. And honest to God, like Google Maine Coon photographer. There's this amazing photographer. I'll do it for you because I have that ability. Won't be the first time that I stop to Google something. Robert Saika. It looks like Sijka. But look at these glorious beasts. And look at this amazing photography. Like all of these things. Holy crap. Like those are some amazing majestical beasts. Anyways, so our cat is part this, but she came to us when she was like had been living outside for some time. We don't know. She came as us to a stray. We don't know how long she's been on the lam. Like, we don't know. But she was very kind with our outside cat, and nobody is kind with our outside cat. He never approves of anyone. And so him not openly fighting this cat was like the biggest sign, because he will openly try to fight our other cats and like all other cats who ever wander into the yard. Constantly has head scabs on him, this guy. Anyway, so you know how it is. Kitties and head scabs. I don't have to tell you. I am not finding any iron. I should really go back up to the surface and get... Oh, bonkers. Oh, you know what? I can make a downstairs bed. Duh. That's why downstairs exists. It's for beds. Anyway. But really, America, like seriously, or possibly the world. I don't know what No, it's America because that's where the memes are coming from, which means that's where this sense of like, we need the raised as brother and sister porn. Like, come on. I thought you were better than this. Like, I really did. And I have no reason to think that whatsoever. Like, really? Realistically, why would I think that you're better than anything, America? Like, what have you shown me lately? Oh, that's right. You, voted to make Juneteenth a national holiday. And, like, 14 Republicans, at least two of whom, there might be more, but at least two of them are from, two of whom are from Arizona. So, hooray! we always look like such a backward state when we let our frigging dumbest, most racist, backwards, stupid, like, do you realize that Paul Gosar had an ad against him in which all of his siblings were like, don't vote for our brother. He is the literal worst. Oh, I did it. Nice. Way to go, me. Anyway, yeah. Paul Gosar. You can look that up. His actual siblings, actually and really and truthfully, ran an attack ad on him during an election year, telling voters in Arizona not to vote for him because he is such an awful person. Like, think about how bad your relationship with your siblings would have to be for them to run a political attack ad on you. And that's how bad Paul Gosar's relationship with his own siblings is. Because they did that. They do not respect that man. They've got nothing for him. Like, anyway. Trying to keep some spudge. Hey, I think killing Freepers got a little easier, or maybe I got better at it. Oh, I have an iron sword. I thought it was a stone sword. I'm like, wow. But no, I just remembered that I made an iron sword because I got some iron early on because I got it out of the chests from that sunken ship, as you'll remember in a previous episode. Anyway, which you shouldn't have watched because I constantly make fun of you for the way you spend your time, even though you're spending it watching an endeavor that I have created. Why am I so strange? I don't have a good answer for you. I have no answers of any sort. Let's put the arrows in here, but wait, why would I? Okay, but we do need to get that out. Oh, and I have 3 emeralds already. Good for me. I'll have more once I get my iron pickaxe because I have 2 in range there. But really, seriously, the pornography, which if you were ever raised Mormon, is very funny that people say pornography. You gotta stay away from the pernicious dangers of pornography. Pern, as they call it for short, the pern industry. Oh, those crafty devils down in the pern industry. What they wouldn't do to get their claws on you. Those dirty pornographers. Anyway. What? I made 3. What am I doing with my life? I don't know. Anyway, I think I forgot how many I made and made more because I am having happy thoughts and a good time on not a weekend, but you know what? Normally we do pizza night 1 night a week. Normally that night is Friday, but the missus spent all day working today, and when she got back, she was like, I would like to not have to make dinner. And I was like, well, I would make dinner, but it's quite late. And then she was like, why not have dinner delivered? And I was like, okay, you were speaking my kind of language. And so we had our normal Friday delivery dinner, which is to have delicious pizzazz, delicious, nutritious pizzazz. Anyway, so we had that for dinner instead of, and then tomorrow night I will cook. I'll make pasta as I want to do. Or if I'm feeling, adventurous, I might make like something exotic. Make breakfast for dinner, pancakes or waffles or something. Anyway, I would love waffles. Note to self, make waffles for. We have frozen waffles in the freezer, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Anyway, I think we all agree. But seriously, incestuous pornography. Really? I leave you alone for 5 minutes and you're like, what's up, stepsister? And also, like, how could you watch pornography with such a terrible premise? Like, she gets stuck in a washing machine and can't get out so badly that she allows herself to be, like, basically raped. It's kind of a rapey vibe on it, if we're being honest. And you know what's interesting? I think I talked about this before. But I had a student in my college class do a paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on porn, which was really fascinating because we got to talk about a lot of really interesting societal effects of pornography, which are not all what you think they might be. I know that a lot of people would think like, oh, pornography, well, it gives us such terrible attitudes toward women and such unhealthy views and like all that kind of stuff, which like it could like you could see very easily how it could if you're like, oh, it's basically okay to find a woman like stuck somewhere, and even though you were raised as siblings together, you could just like start doing things. Like what is your ridiculous? And that is why that doesn't happen in improv class anymore. But not that they were like performing lurid acts on one another. They were not. For the record, I feel like that's an important distinction to make. But they were making references to it. Like when you play the game Freeze, you know, sometimes people get frozen in a very precarious position, and then people are like, aha, you know, someone has to start a new scene, has to come up with a new way to do whatever is being done in the scene. And so, like, oh, yeah, maybe do a little bit of ha 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 ha, you know, like, that's what people might think. Like, let's maybe, oh, see, I'll never see that as raw iron because it looks like a mushroom to me. Anyway, I have to figure out where copper fits in my hierarchy of usable goods. Anyway, and I'm guessing that copper is going to be a lot like gold, because as a highly malleable metal, gold, you can make very sharp things from it, but they will wear out very quickly, which is as they would do in real life. Because some aspects of Minecraft are actually real. Did you know that lapis lazuli is a real thing? Some people did not know that. And then when we read Gilgamesh, they're like, what? And I'm like, yes. Part of reading Gilgamesh is finding out that lapis lazuli is actually an actual factual thing. There's a semi-precious blue stone. Look at King Tut's sarcophagus, and you will see gold and blue. All of the blue is lapis lazuli, which we've already established is a semi-precious stone. Widely used in ancient Egypt. I mean, obviously. So where do we think we are right now? Anyway. But let's see what that gets us. Anyway. Lapis lazuli. Yeah. Anyway, that was me riffing on copper. Yes, remember, this is Riff and Craft with me, Rem Pemberton, a person whom you can see riff and craft on any given whatever day this happens to be. Thursday. Nope, it's definitely early Friday morning. A stupid hour. I tried to do this earlier, but it just didn't work. I couldn't make good with it. I couldn't have it happen the way that I wanted. And so it waited until now. And now it's very funny. Ha! We've had nothing but laughs and joviality. And at no point did I get so real that it brought the whole room down. That didn't happen last time. Oh boy. Did I grab that room and say, hey room, you're flying a bit too close to the sun on wings of wax. Let's definitely dispense with the Greek metaphors and bring you down. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Let's not act like those are not my precise words, because they certainly are. We all remember where we were. Anyway, I should save those for whenever I do them. Anyway, let's see. 1, 2, 3. I forget how many I should. I have done 5 before, but I think it's too narrow. We shall find out. Bah. There we go. Doobie doobie doo. How are you? Anyway. Just doing a little Frank Sinatra there. Don't worry about it. Frank Sinatra, the chairman of the board. Back when a man was a man and not a guy with a microphone and talks about stuff when he's playing Minecraft. Ugh, that's not a man. It's just a weird guy whose material you should not listen to. Go listen to Frank Sinatra. That's a guy with some real material. Okay, here we go. Oh, look, it's some coal. There's some Cole Porter over here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, to serenade you with the lack of interesting things being said in this late portion of this episode. Cole Porter's here to play you a sad, sappy song, let you drift off to sleepy times, and you wake up in the middle of, I don't know, some video on like why we don't have sustainable and well organized public transit in cities on the west coast of the United States. Yeah, you're gonna wake up in the middle of that and you're gonna be like, oh man, this is way more interesting than what I fell asleep watching. I won't make that mistake again. I am going to definitely watch more stuff. There's like mini documentaries that at some point feature George Monbiot. Yep, I'm going to watch more of those. Yeah, I'm going to watch things that like quote Chomsky in big white letters on a black background. Yep, I'm going to watch more of that. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this guy's losing his fastball. Well, I'll have you know, I had no fastball to begin with. I have always been terrible at baseball. Let the record show. When I was in baseball, I was the weird kid out there standing out in whichever field they don't hit to very much. Right? I'm assuming it's right field. But anyway, I'd be out there in right field with my fielding glove on my head. Not even on my hand. I'm just wearing it as a hat. And I'm out there just not particularly making anybody proud. That's me. That's what I did. And so, like, if you're trying to equate me with any of the baseball greats, well, good sir, I hate to disappoint you, but disappointed you shall be. I am not a great baseball player, nor have I ever been. Yeah. You can thank Three Finger Brown for that business. Just kidding. I don't know what he has to do with anything that I just said, but there was a three-fingered pitcher played for the White Sox, maybe? I don't know. Who cares? I definitely established my baseball cred with knowing that there was a pitcher who had only 3 fingers. Clearly, I know the American pastime like the back of my fully 5-fingered hand. Yeah, it's true. I've got all 5, and that's why I'll never be a great pitcher. So when you're going to be a great pitcher, they take the other 2 fingers. They're like, yeah, you're not going to need these. But if you're destined for greatness, you just be born without those 2 fingers, and people will know. They'll be like, oh my God, this guy is going to be a great pitcher in baseball. Or a great pitch man. I don't know. What's a pitch man? The guy who makes the sales pitch? Yeah, probably. Anyway. I can't make good sales pitches. I do not like sales. I do not like things being sold. I'm not a particularly huge fan of capitalism in general, because I feel like it has been designed to intentionally continually pacify the exploited, by giving them tokens that seem to say like, hey, you're a part of the system and someday you might be on top just like me, and then the person being exploited is like, yeah, I might make it all the way to the top, and meanwhile the system is designed to keep them anywhere but the top, to keep them as far from the top as possible. And because we get these little tokens that say, hey, you might make it someday, baby, we always are like, yep, that might be me. And so I will actually fight to protect a system that does not inherently benefit me and actually uses my labor as a means of enriching those who did not expend labor themselves. Simple bourgeoisie business. It's class warfare, baby. Anyway, do I sound wildly democratic when I say such things? Because, like, the funny thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, is I don't feel like I don't have a lot of necessary, like, loyalty to the Democratic Party, because I think that it's wildly ineffective and inefficient. Like, I wish there was a labor movement in the United States, honestly. Of course, labor movements are usually not the domain of, they're normally the domain of the blue collar, not of the whiter type collars. And mine is, I don't know, like, I get blue collar wages, I'll tell you that much. I'm a teacher, so yeah, I get them sweet, sweet blue collar wages. But I also get, some obvious benefits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this next one will be the last one. Anyway. So yeah, collar, who knows? But definitely part of like, teachers are absolutely exploited part of the workforce. And it's funny because, like, I've heard people within the medical industry be like, hey, we had to go to work this whole time. Why are teachers complaining about having to go to work? Why are teachers complaining about having to go and do their jobs? And it's like, okay, well, you work in what is supposed to be a sterile environment. Like, no matter what part of medicine you work in, it is supposed to be a sterile condition. Like, things are supposed to be scrubbed down. You roll that bit of wax paper down. You don't use the same cotton swab. You better not use the same cotton swab. I'll find out. You don't use the same tongue depressor. Like, you let the water drown out all of your hopes and dreams. Oh my God, where is all this water coming from? Obviously above. I'm not stupid. I do understand basic concepts of where water comes from. It's making me angry. Anyway, regardless. But the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, I'm going to leave that right there because, wait. Hold up. I was only, wait. Really? And that little to go, and you're just gonna wreck me with a waterfall. Okay, let's see how it is, Nora Jones. Come at me, bro. Yeah, Nora Jones. I'm talking about you, singer of, singer, piano player. You know the one. Calling you out. You think your poop doesn't stink? I'm here to tell you that you poop just like everybody else. Nora Jones. I read a book called Everybody Poops. And although you were not explicitly in it, it did say that everyone poops. And they meant everyone. So you ain't hiding your true self from me, Sarah Jessica Parker, who is definitely the same person I started talking about when I started talking at a person in this bit for no reason. Yeah, that's right. I've got your number, Mary J. Blige. Yeah, that's right. I'm definitely talking to the same person every time, Erica Badu. Okay. I just need to plug this off enough to where I can finish my nonsense without it having to be nonsensical. And I know that there's probably a cool cave in here and I should explore it, but I have but a simple accursed leathern doublet, so you'll please forgive me if my spirit of adventure is not yet at its peak, because normally I don't go adventuring in mine shafts and caverns until such time as I have a decent set of iron armor. And I don't have enough iron for that right now. I think you must agree with that statement. And if you don't, you're a racist. I don't know why that would be true. And frankly, it dulls the concept. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I can't just use that as a joke because some people actually are racist and they need to be held accountable for the terrible things that they believe about the world. Like, absolutely. So, let's not all be like, haha, you know what's a funny joke? This thing that people believe, which is actually used as a tool to oppress. Ha ha ha. You believe oppression of a systemic nature? Like, yeah, we literally can, because that is the state of the world. Anyway, come on, systemic oppression. Isn't that a Proclaimers song? Come on, systemic oppression. I don't want to read a book or talk about the world. Come on, systemic oppression. All I want to do is spend some time not being held back because of the color of my skin or the origin of the place from which my parents originated, or the language, the primary language that is spoken within my household, or other markers of racial and cultural divide. You know what I'm saying? Proclaimer song. It's got a lot of lyrics, but I think they do have something to say. So ultimately, I do listen to the Proclaimers. Thank you. I think that's what I came here to say. Is that ultimately, yes, I do listen to the Proclaimers. So you can give me whatever credit you were going to give me for that, and we'll just mosey on down the line. Right? Anyway, these are, yes, definitely do 100% take tally of how many times I say anyway in this bit. Anyway, that one was definitely intentional. I didn't know if you, or care if you believe that or not. It actually was, so. Anyway, that one too. Because I'm a silly Willy. Rem Pemberton, you've done it again. You've both riffed and you've crafted. You've done some riffing, you've done some crafting. And boy, weren't your fans delighted by your riftly crafts? Your craftily written riffs? Wait, you don't write riffs. Riffs just happen. Unless you're a guitarist, then I suppose you could write a riff like, hey, I wrote that riff. You can't have that riff. That's my riff. I wrote it. Is that what guitarists yell at each other about? I imagine that it is so. Anyway, these guitarists and their riff tracks. Come on, nature. I don't want to sing a song about systemic oppression. Oh, no, I don't. Come on, nature. I just want to spend some time being from Scotland and people knowing that. Yep, it's true. I could tell the meaning of a word like serene. Guess what I got when I was 16? Some O grades. Do you remember that? I got some O grades when I was 16. I can tell the difference between margarine and butter. I can say Saskatchewan without starting to stutter, but you know what I can't understand? Why we'd let someone else rule our lives, Captain. Oh, please, sir, may you rule my life? Why? We are proud Scotsmen, and let's just all agree that our current arrangement is not, like, we need a stronger separatist movement. So we are definitely our own thing. And this whole Brexit, like, you think the Irish are getting screwed. We also are getting screwed, and we can't even really do that much about it. Like, ugh. The Northern Irish, you know. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. The Northern Irish remain in as part of the EU, but if they can't traffic their goods through Ireland in order to get them to the remainder of the EU, like we had seen an easing of tensions between the two as trade routes are established, and sometimes like economic interests actually do improve the lives of people. They don't always, as a matter of fact, many times they really don't. It just so happens that the economic interest of trade for Northern Ireland helped to solve the long-standing problem, which is primarily religious and cultural, like religious first, cultural second, between the Irish and the Northern Irish. Like, why you think Sinead O'Connor tears up a picture of the Pope? Like, do you think she was just doing that because she's crazy and you just are like, oh, the one thing I know about Sinead O'Connor is that she shaved her head and tore up a picture of the Pope? And it's like, hey, do you even know what she was doing? Do you even know what her motivations were? And do you understand what a special talent that Sinead O'Connor was? Like, I mean, look, okay, Prince did not go around writing hit songs for everyone. But he wrote a hit song for Susanna Hoffs, which she recorded with her band, The Bangles, which is, I believe he wrote Manic Monday for them. It was one of their big hits. Anyway. So yeah. And that's because Prince, unlike Michael Jackson was clearly a pedophile, which America has had the dumbest hard time coming to terms with that fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because apparently we love his music so much. Well, it's like, guess what? I prefer his Jackson 5 material. Of course, it was Jackson 5 materials when he was being exploited by his own father. Let's see, 1, 3, 4. Anyway, sad stories all around. But Prince, who was a genuine, like, seemed like he was a good dude. Like, odd, certainly. Like, absolutely an odd fellow. But seemed like a genuinely good person. Anyway, he wrote a hit song for Sinead O'Connor also, which is Nothing Compares to You. She recorded it before he ever did. Of course, yes, Prince does have a recorded version of Nothing Compares to You, but I believe Sinead O'Connor's came out first, and, like, good on you. Like, hey, that's cool. Like, that's really cool. To have Prince be like, hey, this is a song for you. Like, I, Prince, one of the greatest of all time, am giving you, whoever the crap, a song by which you will be remembered. This is what he says to whoever the crap. I mean, he said it to Susanna Hoffs. He said it to Sinead O'Connor. And doesn't that tell us quite a bit about the man that he was? Like, I think it does. I think we do learn quite a bit about Prince by the fact that he would write, first of all, great songs, hit songs. Not just songs, but like songs that would go on to make the performers a butt ton of money. Of course, Prince got that songwriting credit, so like he doing okay. His estate is gonna be fine. Anyway, so yeah, Prince, Sinead O'Connor, Ireland, Northern Ireland, separatist movements, which brings me to my main point. We definitely should not have a Belgian separatist movement, although there were people who were like, why are we all one country? Like, we're not the same. There's obviously, like, nearly half of us speak Dutch. The other nearly half of us speak French. A small number of us speak German. And, like, that's who we are. And that's what makes us Belgian. But then people be like, well, why can't we have a Belgium that is strictly, you know, Walloons or strictly Flemish? And it's like, but aren't you like Belgium for being a combination of those things? Like, if you lose one of those things, are you still Belgium? Like, I would argue that you are not. There is certainly something lost if the separatist movement in Belgium wins, which they already haven't. So that's good. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem like some of these separatist movements go away. I mean, look at Montreal. Seriously, the Quebecois have been calling for their own country for a long time. They're not going to stop anytime soon. Anyway, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Let's see, I just need to get out to 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 more. And then I'll shut this down. What? Is that what lapis looks like now? It was like a water grate, like a grate with water underneath it. Lapis lazuli, which you already know is a semi-precious stone, which was used widely in jewelry and ornamentation in ancient Mesopotamia and throughout the region. Like, duh. Who doesn't know that? I feel like if you don't know that, then you are, I don't know, it's becoming more and more normal to not know things these days. And you know what? You know, it's one of my least favorite trends is people who are like proud of not knowing things. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you going to be proud that you don't know something? I mean, granted, if you're going to be that guy who's like, I don't even know who the Kardashians are. Like, okay, well, good for you for that you think you can trick us into believing that. Like, look, I kind of know who the Kardashians are, even though, like, my brain is like, be a part of the backlash against them because I just don't like reality TV in general. Like, as a concept, I'm not behind reality TV, so like that really has nothing to do with the Kardashians or who they are as people or what their success represents. You know, the sea change that it represents in terms of like content creation and the assumption of what America wants. Anyway, regardless, no strong opinions about these things whatsoever. But I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, why did that one look different? Like one of them looked different than the other. Let's stop the point that I was on because it was going nowhere, and let's do this instead. Minecraft. Anyway. Luckily for you, I can't remember the point I was making earlier, so I will stop it. Points from earlier. Who needs them? Some big fancy doctor with a big fancy stethoscope? I am not either of those things. Never have been. Never been a doctor. Never had a stethoscope, especially not a fancy one. Tell you that right now. What am I, Doc McStuffins? No. I should be so lucky as to be Doc McStuffins. I am not. Just a simple, straightforward Sinead O'Connor fan. Anyway, uncomplicated. All right, people. I feel like I have riffed I made a rift. And I've crafted. And now it's freaking late. Actually, it's slightly early. The sun will be up before too long, and that is entirely too late to be up. No, the sun isn't coming up soon, but like still is it is wildly late / early the next day. So I need to wrap this up. Anyway, people, I have been Rem Pemberton. This has been Riff and Craft. Thank you for being here with me, and we will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.